Hi everyone, welcome to another executive interview. We are here today at the Future Disruptive Investment Conference, and I'm joined by Paul Geason, the Chief Executive Officer of Swell Energy, a pioneering company that is revolutionizing renewable energy through their Uniwave technology. Paul, it's thrilled to have you here today.
No, thank you very much.
Amazing. Now, Swell Energy's technology sounds truly groundbreaking. So, can you share what sets Uniwave apart from previous wave energy technology, especially in terms of reliability and scalability?
There's some really important points of differentiation for us, Rhythm. If I could really categorize them in three, our technology is very efficient, more efficient than other wave energy converter technologies. Our technology is also extremely versatile. The technology can be deployed in multiple different platforms. So we demonstrated and proved the technology in a particular type of demonstration at King Island. It was a gravity-based seabed structure.
Yeah.
However, the technology can also be integrated into ships, and it can also be integrated into coastal structures to support breakwalls, seawalls, and address issues of coastal erosion and rising sea level. But I think probably the most important point of differentiation to other wave energy technologies is the simplicity of the technology. Essentially an artificial blowhole that is created with a power takeoff with absolutely no moving parts in the water. In fact, we only have three moving parts. We have an air-driven turbine, we have a shut-off door to manage pressure to the turbine, we have some pressure release valves. None of that technology or moving parts is in the water.
Yeah.
And that's been a huge point of differentiation for us because it means that we don't suffer the effects of being in seawater.
Yeah.
It means that we have ease of access, safety of access, lower cost of access, but also we don't then need to apply any artificial lubricants or synthetic materials to those moving parts in the water, and therefore it's a much safer technology in the marine environment with no impact at all on the marine environment.
Right. Amazing. That sounds truly groundbreaking indeed. Now, building on the success of Uniwave, the 200 project on King Island, how does Swell Energy plan to expand or scale their technology to larger deployments or other locations?
We have a really critical focus right now on a number of specialised applications. Certainly our ambition over time is that the technology is integrated into main grid networks operating at utility scale.
Yes.
But we know that to get started there are some unique opportunities for us.
Yeah.
Supporting autonomous grids on small islands, on remote coastal locations where we can assist in decarbonisation, removing diesel from the equation. Also, the floating ship and the integration into ships is also a very key application that means that not only can the technology be deployed near shore, supporting autonomous grids, but it can also be used in an offshore capacity. That has a unique set of applications that could be supporting offshore wind operations, offshore oil and gas operations, and other aquatic operations. So these specialised applications are important, and I think probably one of the most important right now is the world is facing the challenge of rising sea level and coastal erosion.
Yeah.
If we can integrate our technology into those structures, then not only do we provide clean emissions-free electricity, we're also providing a source of revenue and income and utility to the otherwise sunk cost of that infrastructure. So those markets and opportunities are significant for us in the short term, but ultimately as we deploy the technology, we learn from doing, we lower our costs, we become much more attractive to then scale up and integrate the technology into main grids.
Amazing. Sounds fascinating. Now, given your experience in the energy sector, how do you envision the integration of wave energy into existing grids?
Yes, this is very important, and in many respects we're no different to any other generation technology, solar or wind. We're always looking for the closest point of interconnection to a grid, and in the instance of nearshore or breakwater integration, then typically we will have access to the grid in relatively simple terms. Where we have the opportunity to collaborate with coastal-based wind turbines or offshore wind turbines and the opportunity to share infrastructure in terms of bringing energy back from offshore to a coastal grid, then of course we will work on those opportunities as well. But there's no reason to think any differently of our technology to other renewable generation technologies.
I understand. Now, investors often consider risks associated with emerging technologies. So, what measures has Waveswell Energy taken to mitigate these potential risks, especially concerning operational efficiency and environmental impact?
Yes, look, mitigating those risks has been a key focus of the business since inception. From a technology and operational perspective, proving out the technology and the operation of the technology in demonstration at scale in Bass Strait was incredibly important in de-risking the technology.
Right.
Importantly in that, we relied very heavily on a relationship with the US Department of Energy and with the Australian Maritime College, who were able to independently assess and validate the performance of the technology. So importantly, we've de-risked the technology and its operation. From an environmental perspective, as you note, incredibly important to us as well. And the way we have thought about environment is through the demonstration of the technology at King Island. We conducted an independent marine environment assessment of the effect of the unit in the location that it was placed. And the result of that inquiry and survey was that we had a negligible impact on the marine environment in which the unit was located. We're also conscious of noise, and we conducted an independent noise assessment. And again, we really were very positive results in terms of the amount of noise that was generated by the unit. So we're very comfortable that our technology will have a negligible impact on the environment. And indeed, one of the factors that we will also face into from a risk perspective going forward is permitting and approvals for the deployment of the technology will be very important. Having the versatility of deploying the technology either near shore or in ships and floating mobile power stations gives us optionality which will allow us to address and deal with issues where we are confronted by challenging permitting and approval processes.
Amazing. Now, you've worked with Hydro Tasmania for the King Island project. So, are there any other ongoing collaborations or future partnerships in the pipeline that investors should be excited about?
Yes, there are, Rhythm. So Hydro Tasmania was a wonderful partner on King Island. Moving forward, a couple of very important partnerships. I can't mention all names. Some of this is still the subject of confidence. But as I mentioned earlier, we continue to work with the US Department of Energy through one of their laboratories that is very interested in seeing our technology deployed in coastal structures. So we have commenced an early collaboration with them regarding particular sites in US waters where they are very interested in understanding the performance of the technology. And that, of course, would be a terrific outcome for Waveswell in our entry into the US market. We also have a relationship developing with a European developer of floating mobile power stations, so the integration of our technology into ships.
Yeah.
And that also is coming to a point where there is a very real opportunity with a vessel that will have the integration of our technology with moon pools on a vessel to create a floating power station.
Yeah.
The intent of that developer is to have the technology in the water by 2025. So again, very exciting for us. A global application, but also proving the versatility of our technology, seeing it live in a floating structure. The final partnership I'll mention is with a US-based technology conglomerate that is actually coming at the opportunity of wave energy from a slightly different perspective. Their interest is in how they can improve the wave energy made available to a wave energy converter through interventions at the seabed level.
Yeah.
The concept of lensing, so directing more energy to a wave energy converter. They have engaged with us, again, very, very early stage to understand what implications might flow in terms of reducing the cost of energy and increasing the output of our technology when you apply this particular intervention, improving the consistency and the volume and the density of the energy made available to our technology. So some very exciting partnerships, early stages in development, but wonderful to have this level of interest and demand so soon after proving the technology in Bass Strait.
That is great. Exciting times ahead indeed. Now, looking ahead, where do you envision Waveswell Energy positioned in the global renewable energy market?
So as I said earlier, Rhythm, I think in the short term for us, it will be important to see the technology deployed in specialised applications, seeing it deployed to support energy needs in autonomous grids, seeing it deployed in ships and floating power stations, seeing it deployed in coastal structures and integrating into breakwall seawalls and ports.
Yeah.
That will be very important for us. But as I said earlier, our ambition is extensive. It's global, absolutely. We have interest in the US, interest in Europe, interest in the Pacific Islands. And in that context, we have a pretty simple target that we've set for ourselves. We want 30% market share of the global market of deployed wave energy converters by 2030. So it's 30 by 30.
Amazing. Now, as a parting question, we are here today at the Future Disruptive Investment Conference. So any key takeaways that you have, like how has the event been for you so far?
Look, the event is excellent. I think in terms of a forum in which we can connect with investors that are interested in the types of advances that we're making in the ocean energy sector, within the broader renewable sector, but also to rub shoulders with other startup businesses that are doing amazing things in agriculture, in healthcare. There are so many similarities and therefore so many interesting collaborations that you can think about, networking and sharing. So we're really delighted with the forum.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much, Paul, for sharing your invaluable insights about Swell Energy and the work that you and your team are doing. For anyone interested who would like to get in touch with Paul or his team, please see the details at the side of the screen or in the description of this video. Once again, thank you, Paul, for joining me for this interview.
Thank you for the opportunity, Rhythm.
Thank you.